What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Spot Show podcast. This is, of course, an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. Hi.
Hi, Dickie.
It's me. Oh, hi, Madrox. How are you?
I'm a Sadrock today, Dickie.
I know, we lost a real one. Let's just get it out of the way before I get into the introductions. This might be a very emotional episode of the Spot Show podcast, and not fake emotion, because this is a weird one, and I think that this is really officially going to be me processing what exactly happened a week ago. But before we get into that, you, of course, know me. I am your host, Jim Mint 10 Dickie Wabash, and I am joined, as always, by the one-legged wonder, Michael Madrox.
Oh, new nickname, brother.
Yeah, Sadrox.
No PSA needed.
We have a new nickname. Okay.
No PSA needed, brother.
No PSA needed. But that's such a mouthful, though. That's such a mouthful.
I know, but it plays off yours.
You could think of so much better.
I could, but that just popped in my head.
If you weren't an idiot,
Well, that'll never happen.
If you weren't an idiot, what you would say is pristine 10, Michael Madrox, because pristine 10 is better than a Gym Mint 10.
Oh, then I'll take that one.
It's too late because I'm not going to call you that. I'm not going to call you that. Of course, before we get into it, this is the Spot Show podcast. Each and every week, Michael Madrox and I, contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to call him that nickname. We get together and we talk about the wacky world of professional wrestling and everything in between, the good, the bad. Today is going to kind of be a bad, but it's a celebration. So don't cry because it's over. Be happy because you got to experience it, basically, is what this one is going to be. If you like what we're doing here, you can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Back us at that $5 tier, and you can get all of our shows early and ad-free. Of course, there is other content available over there that we will get into in the plug ski section. But this is not the only way that you can support us. There are multiple free ways that you can support us. But the Patreon is the best way to keep the microphones on and the envelopes full. But if you don't have the extra money, I get it. You can go to MadBashStudios.com. There you're going to find links to all of our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. Go there, like us, follow, subscribe to us, whatever you got to do to be sure that you can stay up to date with the Spot Show podcast and MadBash Studios. You can, of course, go to your favorite podcasting platform and give this show a 5-star written review. That's how we get into the algo and how more people are going to see us. Here's another way that we've not really talked about, but you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MadBash Studios. The podcast feed is also up there as videos on the YouTube. Leave those likes, leave some comments on those, get some activity on those so that we can, of course, beat the almighty algorithm and
are you going to say it?
Everyone, say what you want. Say what you say.
No, are you going to say it?
Am I going to say what?
Subscribe and hit that bell.
No. I think that's I think that I mean, they should, but I think that's passe. There was a thing where statistically, if it was a YouTube video, you had to say that within the first 2 minutes in order for people to even care and listen and do it. But I think that's old hat now because I don't know which algorithm is more confusing because they're both very arbitrary. I don't know
Google or Meta.
Yeah, Google or Meta. I don't know which one is worse because again, they just kind of pick and choose when they're going to change. So I don't necessarily.
We need to bring back AOL. That had the best algo.
AOL chat rooms. What
Could you imagine the MadBash chat room?
Oh, what? I feel like that we got that with Discord servers, but the difference with Discord servers, it's not the same because those people just don't touch grass. I've been a very outspoken how much I despise Discord servers. I don't like them at all.
It's Reddit for Fortniters.
Exactly. What was this is going to be good because unless you still use it, and I doubt that you do.
What was my AOL handle?
What was your AOL handle?
Twisted812, and then when that account got banned for obvious chat room actions, it became Bloody X45, which was very short-lived because after I created that account, I got banned within 2 hours.
Because of the name?
No, because of things I would say in the chat rooms.
The views
so
expressed
then Travis
Michael
had Shaka Laka, and I had Shaka. Or no, he had Shaka Khan, and I had Shaka Laka.
I love that. I love that. So mine was boring, but I changed it later. It was JAT 513. Original, right? My initials and my birth date. And then later I changed it to
what's the last four of your social with that one, brother?
I mean, hey, my birthday's May 13th. Send me shit. I don't fucking care. Speaking of birthdays, that's going to bring me into something I wanted to talk about that happened earlier because someone has a birthday coming up that makes something a lot more funny. But anyways, my name was later then, and this was my last one that I had until like AOL became kind of useless. Nintendude.
Oh.
Because I was a big Nintendo fan. I think that there was a 513 after that. More than likely there was.
513, 812, 533, keep it local.
It was either like a 513 or a 13 or an 812 or something like that. Or the year. A lot of times people would put the year like 06, 07, 08 or whatever year it was.
So they couldn't forget.
What I'm going to put a pin in this conversation because I'm definitely going to come back to it because this is some old school. This is some old school.
This is paid show topics though.
This is some old school internet stuff that like I've wanted to talk about for a while because like
we haven't even got to the Yahoo chats, brother.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Here's the thing. We got some plug skis and upcoming dates for you. Date wise, we don't have a booking until August 16th. We're going to be in Odin, Indiana for Elite Pro Wrestling. You can, of course, catch us. We are going to be in the commentary booth. And then August 23rd, the Smitty Warben Yeager Man Jansen Memorial Tournament. Shout out to the MadBash brother, Dalton Davis. He
part 3 or part 4, right?
This is the third one, I believe. This isn't necessarily a MadBash plug. I'm going to be there to support the brother, but shout out to Dalton Davis. He's going to be in the tournament, and I got to tell you, I'm proud of that guy because I've seen what he's done since his injury and how he's molded himself to come back. So for him to get the nod to be in the Smitty, that's really cool. Shout out Dalton. Show them all why you're number one.
Could you imagine if it came down to Dalton and Billy in the finals?
Billy
Starks.
She's not in the tournament.
She's not in the tournament. They just announced her.
Did they?
Yesterday.
I don't know. I'm not up to date. Sure. Why not? Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, shout out. Good luck her. But mostly good luck, Dalton. That's what I'm getting at here. Plug skis. If you are on the Patreon and you are hearing this right now at 8:00 tonight, you can go watch MadBash Wrestling Uncut. But if you guys are hearing this when this goes live to the public at the $5 tier, you can check out MadBash Wrestling Uncut. Spencer Wallace versus Jason Levi is available. And then, of course, it will be available to the public on August 12th on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, coming up here next week, you are going to get episode 2 of Big Stupid Popcorn, where Michael Madrox and I are going to watch The Marine, and we are going to give you our thoughts on that one. And then because scheduling has been crazy, Dickie was sickly as always, you are going to get 2 episodes of Big Stupid Popcorn in August. So look for episode 4 will be at the end of the month. 3 will be at the end of the month. Not sure what movie we're going to be doing yet. We'll figure that out. I've got a couple ideas cooking up here.
That's the why.
So look forward to that. And then, of course, this episode is brought to you by Venom Energy and Elite Pro Wrestling. What website builder did you use to create your first website? Have we talked about this? Why do I feel like we have talked about this before?
Dude, we talk about so fucking much. I don't remember if it was Angel Fire. It had to be Angel Fire.
I never had an Angel Fire.
I don't think Wix was out at the time.
No, I used free webs.
See, I've never even used free webs.
So, funny story. I remember Travis Weir, shout out to the brother, coming to me and saying, I almost said Dickie, but I wasn't Dickie at the time. He was like, "Hey, buddy, notice that you guys' backyard wrestling website looks pretty good. Can you help build one for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then never did that. But
procrastinator.
Do you remember how cool it was to be like, yeah, this is my website? But was it a personal website or was it for your backyard wrestling fed?
It was for the backyard wrestling feds.
Hell yeah. I did have a personal one. I don't even know what I put on there. I just want to, it's just like, because then here's the thing though, websites like your own personal blog or website kind of became like not cool anymore because then MySpace popped off.
Yeah, MySpace, you could do so much more than these free website shits.
Brother, I'm a coder. I knew how to place a fucking layout on MySpace. Remember, it's like, dude, I want this cool mouse. I got to plant that code for it, but I put it in my music section so that if I ever needed to go back and find it, I could categorize it. You see what I'm talking about here? You had to
hide that shit.
Yep.
And you had to strategically place where you wanted those codes because even the slightest shit would throw your whole website off or your whole layout off the whack.
This is a conversation we've had, definitely.
The top 8.
Who was your top? Just give me 4.
Top 4? Shit. It had to be Travis.
It's people that we don't. It was great at people that these people don't know, right? Did you put any celebrities in your top 8?
Never.
I did. Because it's like, it's cool that I'm friends with The Miz on MySpace. I remember I went through a trend where I was like adding a bunch of wrestlers. And then it was like, and then our backyard wrestling company had a MySpace page, which if you remember, we found it.
Yeah.
We found it. But the problem is none of the old photos you can still access on MySpace.
They didn't archive that at all, dude. And I regret that.
I have talked about this. There is a photo of Frank Tank that I truly would pay large amounts of money for. It was his promo pic when he was in the backyard, and it is so goddamn funny. And I would kill for this photo. I would, but the problem is
it's gone.
It's gone. That was there was no backup.
Cyberspace.
None of it. Was I in your top 8?
I don't think you ever were.
Cool. You may have been in mine.
Well, that's because like at the time we weren't as close as we are now.
Well, you didn't like me as well. Like it's not that we weren't close. Well, we weren't, but you just I don't think you liked me because
you're a different breed back then.
I was, man. I was. Talking about being a different breed, I'm going to talk about something here real quick, and then we're going to get into the topic at hand because this is going to be a fun, fun. No, it's not fun. I'm not Maven. I'm not going to get in trouble for
it. It's going to be a fun time right now.
Well, what I meant to say is what's fun is
this
talking about this part.
This is all the fun you get today's, guys.
This is going to be a sad one, man. I don't know what possessed me. I think it was because I was going back and I was doing some research for an upcoming episode of Spot Show that I want to do. And
Jesus Christ.
If you piece it together, brother, I think you can figure out what I'm probably going to be dropping on you. And I went back and listened to episode 11 of the Spot Show podcast. And that was roughly 2 years ago, like almost to the day 2 years ago. Like, I think it was like
that's still a bi-weekly podcast, wasn't it?
Yes. Because we didn't go weekly until The first episode that was weekly was Clayton, I think, he was 15. Why I remember that? It's just the weird moments that I remember.
Well, you document all this shit too, so.
Yeah. Let me check actually, because I do have it brought up here. Yeah, Clayton, I think, was the first. It was either Steven or Clayton was the first weekly one. I don't
It was Clayton.
remember. It's not important. Yeah, Clayton was.
We would have wasted that on Steven.
It was Clayton because we started in September doing weekly. Anyway, went back and listened to episode 11 of the Spot Show podcast. And that, of course, was two years and 1 week ago. And I noticed something that was so funny about that episode. Our guest
was Travis Weir.
Was little Logan Madrox.
Oh boy.
And at the time, we can actually say little Logan Madrox. Because, my God, I'm listening to this episode, and let me just say, puberty has done that kid a lot of favors. His voice was so high-pitched. I'm actually going to play some of it back.
The hybrid show. What's he doing before the show?
Hang on, let me
see yourself 10 years from now. I mean, it goes without. Hopefully, like
you would think I would have had this prepared, but I don't.
Would you be in the ring?
Okay, so it's perfect. This is actually the part where I ask him if he ever wants to be in the ring. So I'm going to hold this to the microphone and hopefully you can hear it.
Oh, in wrestling. Yes. I would love to be in the ring.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Hopefully, if I could, I would love to be working for AEW.
Okay. That's a good.
So I would be curious to ask him if he still has that same dream of working in AEW. Hopefully, I'll be working for AEW.
His birthday's next month. We'll do an episode with him.
I know. We're going to have to do it. And then I went back and listened to the last time that he was on. But it was so funny because, like, clearly, obviously, that's Logan. We know it was Logan because we recorded the episode with him.
The cadence is there.
His cadence is there. Is like the way that he says O's, like Pokemon. But, like, have I ever talked about my rib that I do with him? Where I talk to him in a
not Delaware. On the show.
Okay.
Only in the locker rooms.
I talk to Logan in a Delaware trash accent all the time, and he gets so fucking mad at me. I'll be like, "Good job, Logan. You're such a good boy. You're so strong, Logan." And he gets so fucking mad at me. By the way, anyone listening to this, Logan Madrox loves to be called Lolo, so keep that up.
Lolo Boo Boo.
But it was, so you're going to see him tonight. Play that for him, and like
he's on his way, dude. So as soon as we're done recording, we're
I'll be in AEW. He's like talking.
It sounds like someone took his voice now and like ran a Barbie filter over it.
Yes, absolutely, like some weird Snapchat filter.
Yeah,
shit, dude. Man, let's talk about birthdays. Like the day that we're recording this, your oldest is celebrating his birthday too, man.
17, dude. I feel old as shit.
I know. You're starting to get old. I feel old, and they're not even my kids. But like
18 when he popped out, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So happy birthday to Aiden Madrox. Cheers, man. And then upcoming happy birthday to little
You can't
Logan
just call him Aiden Madrox anymore. He is the county champion.
Yeah,
right, brother.
County champion in fishing. Don't know where he got that from.
Which is fucking crazy because like we never had that shit in high school.
Yeah. Well, we've put it off. We've had our fun little topics of conversation just to kind of.
Before we get into the deep issues.
Yes.
This is a sad episode, and we got to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So on behalf of MadBash Studios, I just want everyone at home to know I am feeling fine. Dickie, not so much. Yes, I do have a 10th participant at SummerSlam in the PLE draft show.
I don't want to hear it because Drew might not be at the show. So
I know
I'm
that.
going to lose Drew.
So it might be 10 versus 8. Wow. Those points, buddy.
We got to do that. So look forward to that, because next week is, of course, our SummerSlam review and our supplemental draft. So look forward to that one, guys.
Shout out to Killer Cross.
All right. So before we get too far into this, let me do the disclaimer that sadly has to be said. Objectively, the legacy of Terry Hulk Hogan Balea is very cloudy. If what I'm about to say gets me heat, I don't care, because I will argue this. How fucking dare anybody celebrate the death of this man? That's disgusting to me.
Yep.
Celebrate it in the way of saying, thank God he's dead. No. From me to you, fuck you. If you are happy that a human being is dead, fuck you. Like,
There's certain human beings that deserve to be dead.
There are certain human beings that absolutely deserve to be dead. It's like Hogan did say some really bad shit.
Yes.
Hogan absolutely did.
The biggest point I've seen people make that I fully agree with, if you can't separate the art from the artist, you're a bigger piece of shit than Hawk.
Yes. And, we have made jokes. We did
a whole episode about
episode where we were making fun of his lies. Now, hold on, dude. I'm adding dates to my calendar. And now, here's the other thing, too.
He's back with his Hulkamaniac Elvis Presley, okay?
He is, yeah. Here's the other thing, too. Now, hold on, dude. That's going nowhere.
No.
I've still said that to
This ain't like Pink Eagle. We're not going to feel sorry for the guy that much. Come on now.
No, because, objectively,
that's a different level.
Some of this shit is funny. But no, if you're going to sit here and be happy that this man died, if we lose listeners because of that, good. I don't want you fucking listening to me anyway, because that means that you don't have the same values as me. And maybe that was very stupid of me to do, and maybe I shouldn't have said it, but I don't care, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, whether you loved him or hated him or were indifferent to him, Hulk Hogan is the reason that we are sitting here today. It's the reason that you, and I'm talking about the collective you, I'm not talking about you specifically, Madrox.
Damn, I feel left out now.
He is the reason. Well, I mean, you're included.
Okay.
He is the reason that you are a wrestling fan. Simply put.
He is the reason you get to watch wrestling.
Yes. So we're not going to sit here and we're not going to get into politics. We're not going to get into the things that he said. Shame on him for saying what he said. Okay. It was bad that he said it. But at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan, simply put, is the greatest sports entertainer that ever set foot in a wrestling ring. And I'm not saying that just because he's gone, which is still very bizarre to me to sit here and say that Hulk Hogan is dead. Has it sunk into you yet? Or does it still just seem not real?
Everything's a work to me, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know it's real, but at the same time, it's like, that's the immortal. It can't be real. It took a long time for Randy Savage to sink into me. Because these are not just people like you see on TV for a couple years. These are people that we grew up with.
Yes.
I'm talking 30 years of our lives have been seeing these guys on TV, movies, video games, everything.
100%. 100%. And am I going to sit here and say that Hulk Hogan's in my top 10? No, he's not. This is going to be...
I wouldn't even put him in my top 20, to be honest.
Like personal list? Yeah.
Like personal list, I would not.
But
like, I'm not saying I'm here trying to stroke him off or anything just because he's dead, but like, give the man his fucking flowers.
And that's what this podcast is about to be.
Yep.
This is going to be an objective conversation about the legacy left behind by Hulk Hogan. And when he passed away, you know, we did a bonus episode whenever Terry Funk passed away. And we almost like, we were like an hour away and we were like, dude, let's just hop on right now. Excuse me. Let's hop on right now. Let's record an episode. Let's pay tribute to this guy. We just ended up not doing it because of scheduling issues, but
which I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because so many people did it, we would have got lost in the shuffle and it wouldn't have meant as much.
And it's not, it's yes, thank you for saying that, because what I was about to say is that we are not doing this to chase clout in any way and like ride the wave of like Hogan tributes and be like, oh, we would have just fallen to the shuffle. No, It's because I think that there was just so much out there and all of it deserved attention. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, maybe that makes us sound a little bit self-important. I'm not trying to make us sound self-important, but so let's really kind of get into the weeds of it now. Then if this sounds like I'm using hyperbole and I'm like being over dramatic about it, I apologize, but this is pretty big for a wrestling fan. There are various pop culture moments that take place that it's like you remember where you were when.
Yes.
Remember where you were when this happened, when this happened. We'll start with you. Where were you and what were you doing when you heard the news that Hulk Hogan had passed away?
I woke up to a phone call from it.
Who called you to tell you?
Multiple people, actually.
Really?
Yes, but I finally woke up after like the third phone call and checked my phone, and it was my good friend Jessica texting me saying, "Hey, did you see this? Did you see this?" And then I went through my text messages. I got messages from Jeff the Ref, Travis, everybody, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Silva about it, and he was like, dude, it's like people are reaching out to me like a family member just died.
Mm-hmm. It was weird.
Yeah. So I just happened to open up Instagram, and the first thing I see is whenever a celebrity dies, you always see that meme of them standing at the bottom of the steps, and then the gates of heaven are up there, and then there's all these other, you know, whether it be like, you know, a Harambe,
business partners, acquaintances, other celebrities.
No, I'm talking about other celebrities like Harambe, Ozzy up there, some other like memes that have died or what. And not saying Ozzy or Hogan are memes in no way.
No.
But I saw that and I was like, what? So then I go to Google and there it is. And this was 15 minutes or so after he had passed away, because it was that news was quick. And I immediately turned on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 on Sirius. And they just so happened, it was Dave LaGreca had Natty Neidhart on with him. And they like interrupted what they were talking about to talk about Hogan dying. And then from that day up until like probably Saturday, I was on Sirius XM a lot because I was flipping back and forth. I would be listening to Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. And then they would go to commercial. I would immediately go to Ozzy's Boneyard and listen to some Ozzy's and Black Sabbath songs. And then I would go back to Pro Wrestling Nation, and I was like riding that dial like every day because I have it on the app. So I would like, okay, well, let's go back here, then let's go here. And it was so, you know, we did an entire episode for the most part, talking about the death of Ozzy Osbourne, coming from two very casual fans of Ozzy Osbourne. Not to pigeonhole you in there, but I'm more of a casual fan. So that whole time I'm sitting back thinking like, man, what is that? But then Hogan goes, and now I get it. And it's like, it's that we talked about it with Ozzy. It's that pop culture loss that back to back.
Do you ever in our lives remember like multiple celebrities dying like this?
I mean, there's that old adage of deaths come in threes.
I know, but like this big to hit the nation like it has with Ozzy and Hogan.
I was going to say Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, but if we're talking about the nation,
that one is big.
It was for wrestling, obviously.
It was, but like Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt were not heavily as deep as worldwide pop culture icons as Hogan and Ozzy.
No, they definitely weren't. So to think, I don't know if I can think of one that really hit on that level that big, at least in my lifetime. And what was crazy about it is, I'm going to keep talking about Funk and Wyatt, is that Bray Wyatt's death kind of overshadowed Terry Funk's a bit.
Yes.
Because of the circumstances. Granted,
it was sudden and unexpected.
And he was young. Funk got his flowers, all that, which was kudos. They both deserved the tributes that they got. But what was substantial about this one is that one didn't overshadow the other, and that shows you the gravity of it. Hogan was 71, Ozzy was 76. All things considered, like, that's still relatively young.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting into older territory, but I mean, like, I'm not saying that they were spring chickens. I mean, Hogan had his heart issues. Ozzy had his Parkinson's and all that. But I mean, it's like they, in theory, I mean, they could have lived a little bit, but it's just like, man, that it's one of those, it's like, you look at their age and it was still shocking enough, but it still wasn't a like, oh, we expected that, because I think both of them came so unexpectedly. And I mean, death naturally comes unexpectedly. That's what happens. But that 1-2 punch, man, I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's crazy, man. Like, the whole world changed in the matter of 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
It was 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Like, they died like 2 days apart. Like, Ozzy died on Tuesday, we recorded on Wednesday, and then Hogan died on Thursday. And it was just, it was that 1-2 punch, like days apart. But all right, we are going to continue the discussion of Hulk Hogan here. We're going to get into some of our favorite Hogan memories, just talk about his impact on the business, all of that, after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. We all love live entertainment, right? We all love live wrestling, right? Well, what if I told you that there is a place that combines the entertainment and the wrestling live that we all love? Look no further than Elite Pro Wrestling. Whether it's in person in Odin, Indiana, or Washington, Indiana, or if you check them out on YouTube, Elite Pro Wrestling guarantees a quality show that allows them to live up to the name Elite. If you're feeling generous, go ahead and check them out on Patreon as well. If you back them, you're going to get early access to all of their shows before they hit YouTube. Again, check out EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you too. Yeah, come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. I think that we're not going to get on here and reinvent the wheel while talking about Hulk Hogan and paying tribute to Hulk Hogan.
It's all been said, brother.
I know, but here's where I think that we're bringing a little bit of a more unique perspective to it. Everyone that I've heard talk about it grew up in the peak of Hulkamania in the 80s when Hulkamania was running wild and you're training, you're saying your prayers, and you're eating your vitamins. Whereas us, we're 90s kids. So we
were the NWO.
We were NWO for life. And we didn't really see that, Hogan. So
unless it was on a VHS tape, man.
Yeah. Tell me, because I'm curious here. We'll start with you and then we'll go into me. Normally when we start with you, it's me trying to remember. What's your first memory of seeing Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, baby, at WrestleMania, because I was a Warrior kid as soon as I found him on a VHS tape back when he was the Dingo Warrior.
Hell yeah, you were. I feel like...
Dude, I had that tape and I ran it rampant. The tape broke.
I believe it. I'm going to cop out a little bit here. And I'm not going to answer in that way. I'm going to answer it in this way. Hogan was just always omnipresent. I just feel like Hogan was always there.
He was there.
My early memories of seeing him, though, was again on VHS. I want to say it was the VHS of the Mega Powers Collided at 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it was the Mega Powers Explode, I think was the first time I saw Hogan. But I also vividly remember the that cage match that him and Macho Man had where they had to fight the Alliance to destroy Hulkamania or whatever that was called.
The Dungeon of Doom?
It was the Dungeon of Doom, the Four Horsemen, couple other people, and I think they were called the Alliance to destroy Hulkamania, something of that nature. But I have more memories growing up of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and like learning of red and yellow Hulk Hogan was more of a going back and being like, oh, so this is what he was doing back in the day. I remember that NWO time period so fondly, that early NWO where it's implanted in my fucking brain of Kevin Nash taking Rey Mysterio, lawn darting him into the production truck, Hulk Hogan winning the belt at Road Wild, spray painting that NWO on it, and then that whole build with Sting and like, when is Sting gonna talk? And yeah, man, Hogan, it just for me was just always omnipresent. It just felt like he was just
there's the same thing with like my childhood. Like I was never a Hulk Hogan fan by any means. I was never like a big Hulkamania guy, but you best believe I was walking around at 3-4 years old with my Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on, my cowboy boots.
Do you think
you best believe I had an LJN Hulk Hogan action figure and a Hasbro action figure that just appeared out of nowhere?
Yeah. Do you think that... I feel like this is such a stupid question because I feel like I know the answer to this. If we weren't 90s kids and we actually grew up in the 80s, like during peak Hulkamania, we would have been Hulkamaniacs, right?
We'd have to be.
Like, how were you not? Like, there were so many wrestling fans that were only fans because of Hulk Hogan. And I mean,
shout out to Colby Jack and Rocky 3, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that even is another thing that you need to think about. Like Rocky,
the movies,
3,
the TV shows.
Well, not even that. Rocky 3 was like really before the peak of Hulk Hogan. And like, he got fired because of that movie. Like he was like, he went, now hold on, dude. I want to go do this movie, brother. And Vince Sr. fired him. And then there's the whole thing of like he was working in the AWA and he was supposed to take the belt off Bockwinkel. And then he ended up signing with the WWF. And then because of that, look at where wrestling is now. Again, I think I know the answer to this question because I've heard so many people answer it already in this way, but could anybody else have been in that role?
I know there's the rumors and everything that Dusty Rhodes was supposed to be in that role, but I don't think Dusty could have handled it.
Could he though? Because I mean, he was still pretty on top.
I don't think Dusty would like the time away from the ring, if that makes sense. Like how Hogan was doing all these guest appearances, TV shows, and shit like that. I don't think that was up Dusty's alley because all Dusty wanted to do was wrestle.
And that's where the distinction separates.
Mm-hmm.
That's
where the sports entertainment comes into play.
The greatest professional wrestler of all time is Ric Flair.
Yes.
The greatest sports entertainer of all time is Hulk Hogan. And I'm just thinking of this reality of where, the Rock and Wrestling Connection and all of the cartoons and the matches with Mr. T and all of that, like that, the war to settle the score, like it's hard to imagine anybody else in that role.
You can't like plug and play that role.
No.
It was like that role was created specifically for Hulk Hogan. And that's what Hulk Hogan was here for.
Yeah. And then you look at his WCW stuff. Hulk Hogan, this is why he's incredible. Hulk Hogan is responsible for not one, but 2 boom periods in wrestling.
Yes. And people forget about that.
Everyone can sit here and they can do revisionist history and they can talk about how, the Attitude Era is, that's Stone Cold and The Rock and DX. No. Hulk Hogan turning heel with Hall and Nash is what kickstarted that entire era. And it goes back to revisionist history.
And then everyone's like, well, the Attitude Era had all the celebrities on WWF. And you look back at it, WCW is bringing in guys like Dennis Rodman, Jay Leno before Mike Tyson was even a thing, man.
And look at who they're working with.
Yeah.
They're on top with Hogan. Tyson came in and he's working with the top guy. He's working with Stone Cold. You look at Rodman. I'm not saying that it was the same shot in the arm, because one could argue that Mike Tyson's involvement with WrestleMania 14 is what really turned the tide for the WWF at the time. But I mean, look at what Rodman did for Nitro. I mean, I don't have the ratings in front of me, but I mean, fucking the Bulls are in the middle of their second three-peat. And like
Rodman showing up on Monday Night fucking Raw. Not Monday Night Raw, but Monday Night Nitro.
On Nitro, skipping practice in the middle of the playoffs so that he could, the match with him and Malone, with DDP and Hogan. And then, people forget DDP was always in those roles too, because he teamed up with Jay Leno.
Jay Leno?
And like
Karl Malone.
Shout out, and Karl Malone. So shout out to DDP on that one. But it's like, I think Hogan was good at knowing who to do the business with.
Yes.
Who to have in there with him. And we can sit here and we can complain about the creative control and all that. I want to sit down anybody that is complaining about the creative control stuff and say, are you really going to sit there and tell me that you wouldn't take that contract? And then naturally, you're going to make more money in the main event. You're not going to book yourself in the main event? All the stuff that Hogan's vilified for, the same people would go out and do it.
Take a look around the locker rooms we're in. A lot of these guys would sell somebody out in a heartbeat for that opportunity.
Yep. And I'm not saying Hogan sold anyone out, but I'm sure he did. But, now,
hold on, dude. There's a whole pay-per-view named after it.
Now, hang on. No, hold on, dude. It's I don't even know where to go anymore with this because it's just like, it doesn't seem right. It just seems like that we're just talking about Hogan, but it's like we're paying tribute to someone that died. And it's so bizarre to me to even think about this. What is your favorite Hulk Hogan match / memory? Because I'm sure that you have one.
That's a toss-up, man. It's either the match with Warrior, which made my childhood, or it was that Bash of the Beach promo, man. Coming out there leg dropping Savage, turning his back on the fans, because I watched that live.
You can call this. I remember watching it live too. And I don't think that I was as emotionally invested of where I was like crying or anything.
No, I wasn't crying or anything. It was cool to me.
I was like, fuck, dude, Hogan's what? And granted, we all believed in kayfabe back then still.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, Hogan turned his back on WCW. Like, how the fuck? And then, you find out that in reality, it was supposed to be Sting that was going to do it. And Hogan saw the writing on the wall and he saw that, no, and I think that's one thing that I think is overlooked by a lot of what Hogan does is that, sure, you can make the argument of, oh, he did this, he did that. I think that he knew the right time in which to do it. And I know that he saw the train and when to go over the turnstile and get on it.
Dickie.
Yep.
Did you just basically say timing is everything in professional wrestling?
That's what I'm saying.
Holy shit.
There are times that it did backfire. Like
the Finger Poke of Doom.
Finger Poke of Doom, Starrcade 97, whatever. But you also got to look at the other times that he knew when to jump on and he knew when to do this stuff. And that's where I think that he's really overlooked is that he understood the business better than anyone.
My biggest argument with everyone's like, oh, Hogan just buried and kept talent down, right? Hulk Hogan put Billy fucking Kidman over.
Yeah.
Clean.
Let's not even talk about that because that's where you get into Marks talking about wins and losses, dude. Dude.
That shit doesn't matter.
Talk about being on top and running the loops with Hogan, the money that you had to be making. Let me answer.
Well, in WCW, you got guaranteed pay no matter what.
Yeah.
But like WWF back then, before the whole contract shit, yeah, the main eventers got more money. Just like on the independents right now. Like people bitching about wins and loss records. You guys are getting close to the same fucking shit, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I asked you the question, so now let me answer it because I about went off on another tangent there. How do you not say Hogan and The Rock at WrestleMania 18?
Oh, that was a good one too.
That's the best Hulk Hogan match. And that is always going to be the best Hulk Hogan match. And, you hear everyone, and I'm one of them, talk about, oh, Taker Michaels, both of them. Talk about Hogan Andre. It's like, no, those were big, but it's like, I mean, you said Hogan Warrior, Hogan Andre, Hogan, Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. Like, yeah, those are, but like you look at the WrestleMania 18 match, they uploaded unedited audio from that match, and it's just the raw reaction of the crowd. And it's like, I challenge you to not go back and not watch that match and not get fucking goosebumps. You're going to. Simply put, you are going to. Because it was one of those, I remember watching it live on pay-per-view. I took a break from wrestling in about 2000, 2001, came back in 2002. This was my first WrestleMania back. And what a WrestleMania it was. WrestleMania 18 is an underrated Mania. Sorry, it is. I think WrestleMania 18, and I'm going to make a claim right now. It's probably going to upset people, but I feel like I've already upset people. WrestleMania 18 is better than 17. Sorry, it just is.
What's your most underrated match off 18? That doesn't get as much love as it should.
Honestly, I really like Taker and Flair. I really liked Kane and Kurt Angle. I also, of course, Triple H and Jericho is really good too.
I'm talking about underrated though. Like all those we know are good.
Underrated. Like, I would say that, yeah, I would say one of the more underrated matches is Kane and Angle. I don't think people talk about that.
I would say Austin and Hall.
Yeah, that match is really solid.
That's my most underrated about that whole show. But like, dude, like Hogan has done everything. Started toy companies, started coloring books. He's got fucking piñatas. He's got stuffed animals. He's got his own fucking shops. He had Pasta Mania. Like, Hogan has done everything in this world. He even had his own midget wrestling that I was honored to work for.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just look at all the different things that he had his hands in, man, because he knew when to jump on board and when to do these things. Were they all successful? No, but at least he tried, you know,
and
because he knew the importance of Hulkamania and the importance of branding, because at the end of the day, this business, you can go out and you can talk about how much fun you're having working these matches, these jerk off matches with your buddies or whatever. But the money, it all comes down to the money, and the money that he was raking in because of these decisions that he was making and how he knew to jump on, you know, all the money that he made from NWO shirts, all the money that he made from Hulkamania shirts. And he knew how to run with that stuff, dude. Run wild. Like,
he almost had the George Foreman girl, man. I heard him say it.
That's not true. But, you know, to go back to what we were talking about, being on top with Hogan and doing the main event with Hogan, this past weekend, Oliver Kane came over and he was like, dude, it just fucking sucks. Hogan's dead, you know, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. Let's order some food and watch some fucking Hogan matches. And I was like, okay. So Oliver Kane and I jumped in his vehicle, went and got some Wingstop, came back to my house, and until like almost 1 o'clock in the morning for 2.5 hours or so, we watched Hulk Hogan matches. And we started, you can go on Peacock. They're all on Peacock. It's an old Coliseum home video. I think it's called American Made. It's Hogan. And then there's that Hulk's unreleased matches. Not a bad match. Not a bad match. There is a match that is on that Hulk Hogan unreleased. It's him versus the One Man Gang. And it's so good. It's so good. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. We can talk about these crowds and we can talk about these sellouts and we can talk about all of that. Shea Stadium, him versus Andre. You look at the wide shot. Now we've been to stadium shows before.
Yeah.
And how much fucking space is there between these sections in the seats?
Oh, dude, like yards.
Not a single space. Standing room only. that American made the first match on there. I think it's the first match. It's Hogan versus Andre in a steel cage at Shea Stadium. And oh my God, it is so good. It's so good. Hogan understood what the crowd wanted. And I'm not going to get on a high horse right now and talk about, old wrestling versus new wrestling. There have been matches that I've seen that get not the level of reactions that Hogan would when he's in the 1, 2, and then he starts to hulk up and he moves the finger and then he gets up and and he's got everyone in the crowd going and it's just like, oh my God.
He knew how to pull the emotions, man.
I would love to be able to go back in time to be in the crowd during a peak Hulkamania match. And I would want to be, honestly, like everyone would be like, oh, I want to go to WrestleMania 3 or I want to go to Toronto.
I'd rather go to the house shows.
I would rather go to the house show loop, man. I would go to the house show loop. Like, I think him and One Man Gang was just a random house show in Pittsburgh or something, and it was fucking awesome. Dude, like Oliver Kane is sitting over there just slamming wings going, oh my God, that was so cool. That was so cool. Do you see that? And like, we weren't doing it. And none of this is coming from a place of like, old style versus the new style, because I think to a certain degree, go out there and try to do old school territory shit. It's not really going to go over. You got to be in front of the right crowd. But at that time, Hogan knew how to take a crowd and put it right in the palm of his hand every time he knew how to do that.
Man. Through everywhere, WWF, WCW, even his TNA run, he knew how to do that shit. And TNA, all he was doing was cutting promos.
We haven't even talked about his time in TNA, which I think that history doesn't necessarily look favorably on that one. But I mean, he tried.
I do want to get your opinion on a touchy subject before we move on and wrap this show up.
Yep.
Weeks before Hogan passed, man, Bubba the Love Sponge came out and said he was going through all these problems. Do you believe any of that, or
fuck Bubba the Love Sponge? Bubba the Love Sponge is one of these guys that has done nothing but ride coattails. He fucking rode Howard Stern's coattails. He fucking rode Hulk Hogan's coattails. And then as soon as he was a dumb fuck and the sex tape got out, which wasn't even Bubba's fault, it fucking tanked his career. And Bubba is one of these guys that he's just a radio fucking scumbag. And I've always thought that way. Not always. I was a fan of Bubba the Love Sponge for a while. And then you start to just see how dirty he is. And it was just like, all that was Bubba clout chasing.
So you don't think any of those stories hold true about the surgery and being in the ICU and any of that?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying...
That's all I'm asking you, though. I don't give a fuck about Bubba the Love Sponge.
I mean, again, take everything that Bubba says with a grain of salt. I mean, I want to hear it from a reliable source. I don't want to hear it...
I want to hear the sit-down interview with Jimmy Hart after all this is done.
Well...
That's what I want.
Well, does Jimmy Hart even know? Because, like, a day before Hogan died, he was like, oh, Daddy, Hogan's doing fine. And it's like, was he? I feel bad for Jimmy Hart, man. Jimmy Hart is the one that I feel the most sorry for.
Jimmy Hart, Hogan's kids, obviously.
Well, now hold on, dude. I don't know, like, because apparently there's some shit going on with his kids. We're not going to get into that. That's not what we're talking about. But I mean, granted, they lost their father regardless. That's
Eric Bischoff too.
I feel bad for Bischoff, man. Him
and then that Ric Flair interview was heartbreaking.
And that's the thing, is that Hogan was talking about all this stuff that he was doing for Flair when Flair was down and out, and you're just like, Hogan's just lying. But then it's like, no,
he really did that shit.
He came out and he was like, no, this was really happening. And it's like, that's what a shame that it's like he did it to himself. It's like, Hogan's lies are going to be a running joke. They're going to be a running joke with them. They're a running joke with us.
Yes.
but it's just one of those, you're not going to be able to know what to take at face value, and that actually breaks my heart. But not about that. Let's talk about the wrestling, man, because like I said, Oliver and I watched these matches, and Oliver even said it. He was like, dude, we need to do another one of these nights because it was just so fucking cool. On that Hulk Unreleased, there is a match between him and Macho Man from a house show loop, and it was before WrestleMania 3. So Mach isn't even IC champion yet, but Hogan was WWF champion. Match was so good. That match is so good. You need to go back and rewatch these matches. They've got a fucking match where it's him as like Hulk Hogan managed by Freddie Blassie versus some random jobber in Madison Square Garden. And even then, it's like not a terrible match.
You just gave me a great idea for some new content.
What's that?
You remember Mystery Science Theater 2000?
Yeah, we literally had a show called Big Stupid Popcorn where we would Mystery Science Theater.
No, but like behind us on the couch as we're all watching old Coliseum tapes.
Dude, Coliseum tapes were the shit, man. Coliseum tapes were dope. I loved them. But yeah, man, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. And what Hogan did for the business as a whole is what is making this so rough, because like I started it by saying it. I'm going to finish it by saying it. You would not be a wrestling fan if it was not for Hulk Hogan. You listening to this.
Your favorite wrestler would not be here if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan.
How many wrestlers have you heard come out and be like, Hogan's the reason I do this? I wanted to be Hulk Hogan when I was growing up. I was ripping the shirt and I was doing all this. And it's like, yeah, there's a reason for all of this, dude, because of what Hulk Hogan did for the business. You, simply put, are a fan of wrestling. So for those of you on House Show, there's some pretty cool stuff that Madrox just put up on screen.
Yeah, dude.
You're gonna have to see that on House Show. On that
subscribe, boys. You're gonna pop for it,
now,
especially after this episode.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, he's showing a magazine.
It's the 1991 program for WWF, 91 or 92.
How do you have that?
Jessica's dad went to the Hallman Center show, and I got the match card for that. I got the flyer for Survivor Series.
Survivor Series 91, man.
And dude, this is a piece of history right here.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of it. Like, dude.
The Beverly Brothers. I just saw the Beverly Brothers.
Yeah, man. The Hulk Hogan hotline.
Hell yeah.
Like, I don't even remember this shit as a kid. Do you?
No. I mean, 91. I was months old at that point.
I remember Double Dragons, though.
Oh, I remember Double Dragon, yeah. But, well, all right. I don't know, man. Do you have any final closing thoughts on Hulk Hogan? Go ahead and give them.
I think we covered them all, but like at the end of the day, man, like you said, Hulk Hogan is the godfather of sports entertainment.
Yeah, simply put.
Roman Reigns likes to call himself the needle mover. Hulk Hogan is the reason we have a needle.
Yeah. You know what? I've never thought of it like that. Hulk Hogan, we talk about the needle movers. Hogan is the reason we have that needle.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a good way to close out, man. I was going to say a few words, but man, you did it right there. I think that's the quote to remember here, is that we talk about everyone being needle movers. There wouldn't be a needle if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan at all. At all. So
coming to a merch table near you soon.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to capitalize on it, but well, all right. Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. Thank you for all that you did for the wrestling business. It's a sad one. It's a really sad one. And, I think this podcast was me finally accepting that, Hulk Hogan, we're in a world without Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. He's not even in my top 10, like I said, but there are certain people that transcend a fucking list. Hulk Hogan transcends that list. It's almost passe to say that, you know, Hogan is on your Mount Rushmore or your list, because by default, he should be on your list. He should be on your Mount Rushmore. So there's not even a reason to say it.
Nope.
You know
He's
what I
the
mean?
foundation.
He is. He is. He's the foundation in which that Mount Rushmore is built on.
Mm-hmm.
There's my needle mover quote.
Hell yeah, brother. I love it. I honestly, man, out of respect, I don't even think we close the show out like how we normally do. I think the only thing left to be said is say your prayers.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins. What you gonna do, brother?
What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you?